It's just an easier way to get content out to our students because they're so busy. Like, I can't host a virtual session at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday and expect them all to come. Because they're just doing college shit. Like, they're just all over the place. So this was like some real feedback we got from them. And I was like, okay, bet we can do this to serve y'all. And then this is available to everyone. So any college student can come find this and still get that networking connection from it.
There's so much value in having an archive, like a library of evergreen content, because even those students who missed out on it, if they weren't able to come to one or something like that, they'll look back years later and be like, oh, I actually remember when I was supposed to go to this, but I didn't go for whatever reason. And now I have the wisdom of like, oh, I would have done this differently in college. That sort of thing. I'm thinking about myself in college right now. I'm like, there's so many opportunities. I was just like, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like it. And it's just, there was no reason attached. It was just like, nah. But obviously in hindsight now, it's like, nah, go do that, go do that. I'm doing everything now.
I wish I knew like finance shit. There's so much stuff. I'm like, man, if I had been investing from then, even just like $10, $20, like I would be straight right now. Like there would be just a lot less debt. So that's kind of like the idea behind it. And I started reaching out to people. They're always like, yep. And we're just going to film Sundays now through December, and we got a grant to do it.
How'd you do that?
Let's see, this past year was like the first time I was ever really intentional with the foundation. Like we have a ton of donors. I donate, my team donates, but I was like, all right, let's see if we can find grants. Like there's free money out here. Why are we not going to go get it? So I had joined this kind of like a membership club. It was Black owned, called 2045, and I met a girl there who was starting her own foundation, but she already had like a for-profit business. It's called Flex and Fly. So she was creating like this foundation, and she introduced me to a consultant that she had hired who was helping her build her board. And when you build a nonprofit board, for real, the purpose of that board is to just finance it's to help you get fundraise. Like they might buy in to whatever it is you're doing, or they are literally there to help get money. So this consultant is a member of her board, and she came on to kind of like assist me for like, I think we were talking like once a week for like maybe 3 months. And I did pay her, but it was very much a like, what can you pay kind of situation, which I was like, all right. And I never hired a consultant before. I never thought we really needed it until I was like, oh, there's real money out here.
Once you are trying to source big money, you need people who have access to it or know how to get there, because it's intentionally hidden.
And how to build the pitch and the portfolio. Because I'm here thinking, oh yeah, like I can figure this out. Like I could ChatGPT, AI it, whatever. She came on board and she was like, you got to fix this. This doesn't make sense. How are you explaining this? Over the course of like those like six to 8 weeks. And she also helped us source grants, which was a big thing too. And because my nonprofit supports students who are outside of New York City proper, right? You're talking about like Westchester, Mount Vernon, Rockland County, Spring Valley. It was very difficult because a lot of the ones that we would find are applying to like New York City education related type stuff. So we found a local utility company that's actually right across the street from one of the high schools that we've served for the last 12 years. And it was like immediate. As soon as I got in front of them, they were like, our cycle just passed. Make sure you apply as soon as it opens. And I was like, okay. So literally we applied. I think they closed the grant 6:30. We got the money in the account 7/1.
Oh, yeah.
$10,000.
That is real.
Yes.
That is real.
So in that whole grant was scholar network building. That's what we pitched. We're like, we want to connect our scholars better to each other and to our community. So the podcast is one way to do that. The other way we're doing it is just investing in the events that we already do. So I invited you to like the
tea event.
Yeah. And then even to do like a talk with the kids, do a virtual.
Oh yeah.
Now we can actually pay people, some kind of stipend to do that. Everyone's been doing it for free or for like the low. Yeah. So we're investing in that. And then stuff like the tea party, so that way that doesn't have to come out of John's dojo pocket, which is mine. So
that's the financial version of the group economics that I was talking about. Because now it's like, okay, well, it's just like a cycle of money. That's really how money is supposed to work, is that like you flow it around within your community and stuff like that. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're both really about, is like, we have communities and causes and money and positivity and attention. That's what really like content and stuff is. Should be flowing through that.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And I mean, that's like what it's really about. Like when they say like, buy the block back, this is kind of how you do it now.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And now I get to reinvest into like my friend, right? Who has all of the equipment, who has a studio. It's a little further down. But we were gonna shoot there before we decided, actually, let's just do this at the dojo because we have the space for it, and he could just bring the equipment to us. So yeah, it's truly is. It's just like a full circle moment because obviously, you know, Mike is also shooting for the dojo and doing stuff with the documentary and editing for the documentary. So now it's been an incredible like way that I'm able to work with my friends, still create together, and then also build. And
that's what it's really about. Yeah. For real.
And then we also have a physical, like maybe 1 or 2 in-person events where we try to bring everybody together to talk about, in some ways, it's very elemental. It's like, I'm a freshman and what is living in a dorm like? Then up to a senior who is, you know, in a major that they might not really love, and they have questions about what it takes to do something that they do love. So we've awarded close to 70 students over the past like 11 years. And we've given out over $36,000 in scholarships.
Wow.
Since then. So the grant and the some of the like fear that I think I had this year was like, how do we maintain this? I can't, like every fundraising season feels like pulling teeth. Like we need to give ourselves some cushion, and we also need to be really intentional with how many students we award. Like some things are just happening like haphazardly. Like there's a certain level of organization and rigor now that we have that just came with time, and that just came with doing it over and over again. Like we have a really good system. We have an excellent team. Nothing happens within that space without them, because I remember doing it by myself for some of that like whole process. But yeah, so that's kind of like the mission. That's the why. That's a little bit of the origin story, how we ended up in those schools. And I think it's something that the next couple of grants that I'm looking for will be to kind of get us through the next season of the podcast, likely. And then it would be great to just get some money to give the money away. But a lot of scholarships are a lot of grants are programmatic. So they're not going to give me money to give money out because they likely have their own scholarship that they give. So that's been a challenge also. It's like, okay, we did the fundraise this year. We actually did an incredible job fundraising this year. So we're covered, but we still got next year, right? And that's already still in the back of my head, like, how are we going to fund this? Because we have increased the amount that we've given by like 3 times the amount when it started. So I'd love to be able to give out a full ride to somebody in my lifetime.
So that's like one of the big goals.
Yes. For me, personally, that is a goal of mine, to give a student a full ride to school. I think that would be just like an awesome thing to do, because right now we're giving out like, you know, books. Maybe you can get a laptop now. And the cost of living, the cost of tuition is ridiculous. Yeah. Like there are some schools that I apply to that are not like almost 3 times that. And it's just like, for what?
For what now, especially?
Exactly. We have some students who are like going to community college. I'm like, dude, that is so smart.
Yeah.
Because if I know a lot of people who are like, man, I should have just taken all my gen eds at community college and then transferred in
for like 1 semester.
Right. Just to have the name, if that's really what you needed.
If that's what it's about.
Right.
Even now, it's like, what is that?
It's highway robbery. If I could do it over, West ago, yeah.